Welcome to the On Deck podcast presented by LineStar. I'm Shannon Sommerville here with Tyler Wiemann, about to break down some fantasy baseball for today on this Wednesday, June 15th. Had to look down. Wow, it is already halfway through the month of June, and we're
crazy.
Going to be getting ready for the All-Star break here soon.
Yeah.
Got a great slate of games for today. But before we do, yesterday we nearly saw a no-hitter from Miles Mikolas.
Media blew it again.
The media blew it again. Yeah, there really seems to be no more rule about not saying no-hitter anymore. Wow. The Lizard King had a no-hitter broken up, one strike away from a no-hitter.
Wait, his nickname is Lizard King?
The Lizard King, yes. I believe he was picking up lizards in spring training one time or something.
All right.
The Lizard King.
I like it.
Just one strike away, and Pirates right fielder Cal Mitchell on a 2-2 count connected. Deep shot to center field. Ball went just beyond Harrison Bader, bounced over the fence for a ground rule double.
At least it was a well-hit ball.
It was a well-hit ball. That's what I thought as well. I just said, you know what, it wasn't like it was an error
or a bloop or
something
the ball.
It was a well-hit ball.
Ball was hit well.
So
brings up a question I have for you.
Sure.
Do you think him or Tyler Mahle's game was better?
So when you initially asked me this question, I hadn't really looked into the line, and I just said, oh, Mikolas, Lizard King, of course. But then on further investigation, I think I'm with you on this one.
Yeah.
Mahle had a great game. Just his line here, just 3 hits, no earned runs. I think the most impressive thing is no walks, 12 strikeouts.
And 9 innings, no earned runs, and he didn't get a win. It went to extra innings. He didn't even get a complete
Reds.
game.
He
didn't even get a complete game.
Come on.
Yeah.
Don't do your guy like that.
Reds let him down.
That's dirty. All right. Let's get to today's slate of games. Before we get into it, though, got some great weather conditions. We had great weather conditions yesterday, so the hitter-friendly weather continues, and we've got
Dongs
85 degrees at Washington for that Braves Nationals game. And then we have St. Louis is going to be 95 degrees as well, 12-mile-an-hour wind blowing out at Busch Stadium, and Wrigley Field, another day of 92-degree temperature and 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out. So basically that's going to be home run derby today.
Yes.
And Coors Field at 83 degrees. Coors effect plus temperature.
Plus temps.
Woo.
Yep.
Nice little boost there for some hitters. But let's get into some pitchers for today. First things first, some high-owned guys for today in daily fantasy. We've got Brewers righty Corbin Burnes going up against the Mets today. 42% owned on DraftKings, 34% on FanDuel. So some big ownership numbers there for him. You can see why. Of course, the reigning NL Cy Young winner has a 2.48 ERA, 199 opponent average, and the 4th highest K per 9 rate at 11.39, and going up against the Mets today. What do you like about his matchup today? Maybe what
he has a tough matchup.
Yeah.
Mets are second in WRC plus versus righties. They have the second lowest K rate at 19% versus righties. So it's not a great matchup for him. Burnes is a great pitcher, though, so he can beat any matchup. Super low game total, 7.5. He has a 2.66 FIP over the last 20. The one thing I do have to bring up some BVP numbers, 33 at-bats or plate attempts. They are hitting 281 against him.
Okay.
And that's a 27% strikeout rate, too. So there is a little upside. But he's going to have to miss some bats. And
given where ownership is with him, would you fade it?
He's
a guy that gets hit. Your Padres did it
to
him
the
a few
Padres
games ago.
definitely.
They got to him.
He's been a little shaky over the last 5 starts too, but still shaky for him is still a mid-3s FIP. Like he's a great pitcher. I actually will probably go to McClanahan over him against your Yankees.
Okay.
Or McClanahan, sorry.
McClanahan.
Yeah.
All good. Let's take a look.
I always
first.
go back to
Before
Tommy
you
Boy.
start hating on the Yankees, let's first have a positive note, and that's always Nestor Cortez, nasty Nestor's on the hill today for the Yanks against the Rays. 35% on DraftKings, 8.5% on FanDuel. 1.96 ERA. That is 7th best. 1.93 opponent average. 9.93 K per nine. Nice above average numbers there. And last game, he did get hit around a little bit. 4 earned runs, 2 home runs in that game, 7 hits in 4 1/3. Just 3 strikeouts for him. I believe that was against the Twins. However, sometimes these people have to come back down to earth at some point.
We've seen this from Nasty Nestor, though. He's either been great or he's kind of got hit. A little like Garrett Cole.
Yep.
But Tampa Bay versus lefties, 3rd lowest K rate at 17.8%. They are above average offense, but only slightly. So it's an okay matchup. 3.5 FIP, 28% combined K rate. And then he's actually been pretty good against them. 52 plate attempts, 224 average, 21% K rate. So that K rate's a little low in the BVP numbers, but he's been good. He's shown that he's good against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I understand why people are going there.
So let's go to Blue Jays righty Jose Barrios versus the Orioles. 32% owned on DraftKings, 36% owned on FanDuel. 4.73 ERA for Barrios, 2.70 opponent average. So not as good of numbers as the first 2 guys we talked about, but he's had a solid last 2 games. Yeah. He hasn't given up more than runs in those 2 games. What do you like from Barrios today against a team that A, strikes out a lot, and B, doesn't have the best of offensive numbers?
Yeah, bottom 10 offense versus righties, strike out 23%. So that's all good. Barrios' numbers also look decent. 3.69 FIP over the last 5, very similar to his last 20 numbers. So he's pretty much the pitcher we've expected him to be.
Yeah.
However, there is some troubling StatCast data. He is allowing 41% fly balls, 33% hard contact, and a ton of barreled balls. And then Orioles are also hitting 310 off him in 47 plate attempts. So there are some concerns there. And I've been on Barrios the last couple of games. Think I may be jumping off that train today.
So of those 3 guys we just talked about, those high-owned guys, I'm sensing that you're not too high on anyone in particular.
I'm not. But pitching today is difficult.
Yeah.
So, you may be in a situation where you have to pick one of them, one of the high-owned guys. Yeah. But, I'm not really loving following the crowd with pitching today.
Let's go to some low-owned guys that you do like. Yeah. Starting with Rays lefty Shane McClanahan going up against the Yankees today. 23% owned on DraftKings. 1.87 ERA, 1.88 opponent average. Although I did look, I was trying to find a bright spot for my Yankees here because he's got some pretty ridiculous numbers. He's been really great this year. Yes. But he hasn't really gone on the road to a hitter-friendly venue yet. I mean, he's only had 3 games on the road this season, all pitcher-friendly venues. So I'm excited for this one because I think this will be really hitter-friendly conditions at the Bronx, get high temperatures and whatnot. Obviously, I think he's a great pitcher, but, I'm just looking for something to give me some hope against my Yankees. But I'm sensing that you're probably going to crush my spirit here.
Well, look, I mean, he's terrific. 2.44 FIP on the year, 35% K rate. He's leading the league in strikeouts. Yankees can strike out a lot. They are, I think it was 5th best versus lefties in WRC plus, which isn't quite as good as, say, the Mets are versus righties, to go with the Burns pick. So pretty much what I'm saying here is ownership is significantly lower, and then there's a little more upside as far as in the K department. Yankees can tend to strike out a lot. And so just more upside and lower ownership makes me want to go there over, like I say, Corbin Burns.
Definitely. All right. Oh, I see where you're coming from there. How about Braves righty Spencer Strider? I love Spencer Strider. Going up against the Nationals, 26% owned on DraftKings. 2.35 ERA. He leads all major league pitchers, minimum 30 innings pitched in strikeout per 9 rate. 13.38 K per 9. That's ridiculous. Yeah, he doesn't go too deep into games, but he strikes out a ton of people.
But he is getting a little further into games as they're stretching him out slowly.
Yes.
So there is more upside, I would say, coming out of him. Also on FanDuel, he's 14%. A lot of the times on the low-owned guys, we don't always say the FanDuel percentage because it's going to be like under 5% most of the time. But I wanted to make sure we drop that in there. So with this matchup, one thing that we need to talk about is Juan Soto. He missed the lineup yesterday. On Monday, he left the game with an injury. So we don't know if he's coming back today or not. If he does not, I obviously like the play a lot better. Washington's average is offense. They only strike out 20%. That number, again, would be a little higher if Soto is not in the lineup. But Strider's been incredible. 2.78 FIP. He's not that expensive. 33% K rate. And the StatCast data is kind of backing up the great numbers we're seeing. So there's nothing not to like about him.
Yeah. All right. Dodgers lefty Tyler Anderson, 9% owned on DraftKings, going up against the Angels today. 3.07 ERA, solid numbers here, 2.32 opponent average, although he is coming off kind of a rough outing and got a little banged up by the White Sox, tagged for 4 earned runs in just 3 innings pitched, just 2 strikeouts in that game. What makes you think he will have a better outcome today?
You know, I went to a Tyler yesterday and he did well. We're going back to it today.
Tyler's, Team Tyler.
So Angels are average versus lefties, striking out at like 24%. And Anderson has been really good lately. 2.69 FIP and 24% K rate over the last 5. On the season, he has a 3.2 FIP and a 23% K rate. Now, that FIP is like 1.1 lower than his career average. So maybe the Dodgers saw something and they have made him into a better pitcher so far this year. And we have enough data that I think it's probably somewhat sustainable at this point. The one thing, though, we have talked about how he's better this year than last. BVP numbers will come from that older data. 34 plate attempts. Angels have hit 333 off him with 2 home runs.
Although we know that the Angels have been prone to some slumps.
Angels have been slumping. They seem to be coming out of it a little bit, but still they haven't been great for the month of June. So
let's go to our stacks for today and take a look at some of the plays for today. High owned guys, we're going to start with the Guardians going up against the Rockies lefty Austin Gomber, who has a 6.17 ERA, 2.84 opponent average. Yeah, that bumps up to 3.21 at Coors, which this game is at Coors today. So obviously you can see why everyone's in on the Guardians.
Yeah, 6 of his 8 home runs came at home.
Coors,
Also, all 8 have been against righties. So those Cleveland righties are looking good today. He's allowing 1.2 home runs at home per game, and he's only going like 4.8 innings per start at home. So it's allowing a lot of home runs. 40% fly ball rate. As we talked about, super warm weather in Coors. He's probably given up a home run or 2 today. No surprise at all that everybody's here. It's a game total of 12, which is super high.
Exactly.
I mean, most of the totals we've seen all year are like 8 or 8.5.
It's really high.
It's 50% higher.
Some hitters weather.
Yeah.
It's more exciting.
So.
And that's kind of the case for our next high-owned stack, which is the Cubs. This is another situation of really favorable hitters conditions at Wrigley Field where the wind is blowing out and the temperatures are in the 80s. And they will be going up against lefty Ryan Weathers for the Padres, who's filling in on the rotation. Mike Clevenger's on the COVID list. So he's making his 2022 debut, and he has not been good in the minors this season.
And he wasn't good last year in the majors either.
So, yeah, you can see why people are rolling with the Cubbies today, even though they're on an epic losing streak.
Yeah, I mean, last year he let up 1.9 home runs per 9. Now we have great hitting weather in a ballpark that lets home runs go when it's a 20-mile-an-hour wind going out.
That is not weather for pitchers' confidence.
No. Nope. So last season, he had a 5.42 ERA in the major leagues. He has a 7.3 ERA in the minors this year, allowing 2 home runs per 9. And he's walking 4 per 9. So it's really just not setting up well for him. I can't see him having better numbers against major league hitters. So it's not looking great for my Padres. I think us being a half game out of the Dodgers might be a game and a half after that.
Well, let's take a look at some low-owned plays. Those are our high-owned stacks. Starting with the Braves going up against Nationals righty Eric Fetty, who's got a 4.87 ERA, 270 opponent average. And, yeah, he's given up at least 3 earned runs in each of his last 3 outings. The Braves have hit him really well. Yeah. So, from just that point alone, I can see why. 87
plate attempts. They're hitting 387 with 7 home runs and a 373 ISO. So they just have crushed him in the past.
Yeah.
His StatCast data over the last month has been okay, but FIP of 5, ERA pushing 6 over the last 20. There's warm weather. Atlanta is also going to go very overlooked because the games in Colorado and Chicago likely so will get all the ownership.
Okay. So there's definitely some great bets to load up your lineup with there. How about Padres on the other side of that Wrigley matchup going up against Cubs top pitching prospect, righty Caleb Killian. Now his first outing was against the Cardinals and he got tagged with 3 earned runs in 5 innings. Just 3 hits, 6 strikeouts. The Cubs have lost 8 straight. They've just been so they're like, why not? Just let's call up our prospects, give us something to look forward to. But so far with Killian, it was kind of like under.
Yeah, and he has been really good in the minors. 2.2 ERA is his career ERA in the minors. He keeps the ball on the ground, limits home runs, but in the good hitting leagues, he has got hit a little bit.
Okay.
Arizona Fall League, 5.14 ERA. MLB, 5.4 ERA in his 1 start. And then today, with the weather, Wrigley Field, 90 degrees, wind blowing out, as we've talked about, I can't see him really coming out that great.
I just think that with that weather.
Yeah, plus the Padres have been hot.
Yeah, the Padres have been really good.
Averaging 5.6 runs in June. There's going to be runs in this game. And Cubs bullpen, meh. So if Killian doesn't make it too far, it could really get ugly.
Well, how about Cardinals going up against Pirates righty Roansy Contreras, 2.57 ERA. He's got good numbers, 224 opponent average. And last outing, 3 earned runs on 8 hits, 7 strikeouts in 4 2/3. But the Cardinals are really good, and they can hit the ball.
Yeah, and this is one where I think I see some regression coming from Contreras. His numbers look great, but some of the underlying data is a little scary. StatCast data allowing 90 mile per hour average exit velocity, 37% hard contact rate, 37% fly balls, tons of barrel balls. And on the road, he has been way worse at home. At home, his ERA is 0. On the road, he has an ERA of 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus, you throw in the weather, mid-90s, wind blowing out. It might be a rough outing for him.
Good to know there about that underlying data. Looks like he's in for some regression. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays going up against Orioles lefty Bruce Zimmerman, who's got a 5.52 ERA, 3.06 opponent average. Lefties are crushing him as well. Kind of some reverse splits here. 1065 OPS. When you look at that Blue Jays lineup, it's like, ooh.
And he's just been so bad. Like, what is it? 340 opponent batting average and 750 slugging with 14 of his 15 home runs given up on the road.
Wow.
Like, he has
this game's a Rogers Center. Poor guy.
8.66 FIP over his last 5 games. He's allowing 2.2 home runs per 9. Bruce Bomberman might have a rough day.
Bruce Bomberman.
I mean, everybody's doing it, so.
Yes. Bruce Bomberman, just don't say that in TSA security. All right. So those are some great plays. Anywhere else you're looking? We've got a lot of nice stacks for you guys today.
Yeah, we throw out some more stacks. It's going to be a little hard getting different today just because there's not a ton of pitchers.
Sure.
And then also all the high-owned stacks are high-owned for pretty good reasons.
Well, now we continue on with the second day of our new segment,
Yes.
the daily fantasy value plays of the day, according to the LineStar app. So today in DraftKings, the best value play is going to be Pittsburgh's Jack Swinsky, $2,000. Nice price tag right there. Projected points 6.84. This is a case of a lefty bat going up against Cardinals righty Jack Flaherty, who's making his 2022 season debut, and he will be limited to 60 pitches. In that case, the bullpen for the Cardinals ranks 19th in opponent average, so not great. That's good news for Sawinski, and he's batting .210 on the year, but .268 in June. He's been heating up a little bit, so this price tag, this looks like a great play for today.
Yeah, and last week he did really well against the Braves.
Nice. So FanDuel, it's going to be A's catcher Christian Bethancourt again, $2,100 on FanDuel. Nice price tag there, and his projection is 12.31 points. He's going up against Red Sox righty Josh Winkowski. He was also yesterday's top value play. He got a hit, did okay. 268 average on the season for him, but 387 in the month of June. That's crazy. And so for that price tag, why not? Batting third, playing at the hitter-friendly Fenway, and Winkowski, this is his second major league start. In his first, he got tagged for 4 earned runs, including a home run in 3 innings pitched against the Orioles. So some favorable data there as well. So go check it out. Remember, you can find more of these awesome value plays at linestarapp.com. Be sure to check it out. Download it. Optimize your lineup. It'll help you out in your daily fantasy and win you some money, hopefully. So now it's time for our home run calls of the day. Another beautiful day for some dingers. Who you got going yard today, Tyler?
I am going with a value bomb. 2,700 on DraftKings.
Oh, we love a value bomb.
2,500 on FanDuel. Frank Schwindel is going to hit a home run. Ryan Weathers has allowed 1.9 home runs per 9 last season in the MLB. And now he's going into Wrigley Stadium, or Wrigley Field, I should say, with mid-90s weather, wind blowing out at 20 miles an hour, and Schwindel hits lefties hard. He's going to hit one today.
All right, I'm going a little, that's your value. I'm going a little chalk today. So a few days ago, I went with George Springer for a home run, and I was telling myself, why are you not going with Vladdy? That's an obvious pick. But, I didn't, and it cost me because he did, in fact, hit a bomb. He's hit 2 home runs in the last week. He's heating up. I know he had kind of a down May, but I think he's back. And Bruce Zimmerman, the Orioles lefty, has a 306 opponent average. He gives up a ton of power. And Guerrero, much better slugging percentage versus lefties. In fact, his .586 slugging against lefties is over 100 points higher than he is against righties. So I just think, give me a Vladdy bomb today. So that's your plays for today. Question: do you think will there be more home runs at Wrigley Field today or Coors Field today?
Wrigley.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take Coors Field. We'll see who wins.
All right. I like it.
Let's go to our prop bets for today. And are you going with a hitter prop or pitcher prop today?
I'm going back to pitcher props today.
Okay.
We're going Shane McClanahan over 6.5 Ks at -135. This number is just too low. He's hit it in 11 of 12 starts this season. He also is the AL strikeout leader, and Yankees are a little strikeout prone, so frankly, 6.5 is too low.
You're going back to the pitchers on a day when it's prime for some hitting weather. I respect it, though. I'm going with a hitter, and I'm going with the Braves, Adam Duvall, over 1.5 bases. This is at +105. He's going up against Nationals righty Eric Fedde. And 6 of 11 games he's hit that mark. Not too bad. He's batting .210 on the season. I know that's not going to convince you to go to this one, but how about .292 in the past week? He's been heating up. And his data versus Fetty, in 17 plate appearances against Fetty, he's batting .467 with 2 home runs, .533 ISO. Love this play for today for Duval. And I'm going to throw in another one. You mentioned Schwindel for your home run call of the day. His over 1.5 bases prop. Not the greatest value, -130, but I just really think he hits this prop. Padres lefty Ryan Weathers, of course, making his 2022 debut. He struggled in AAA. And Schwindel's hit this mark in 5 of the last 12, .239 average on the year, but .262 against lefties and batting .283 in the past 15 days. He's been heating up as well. And we've got some warmer temperatures, wind blowing out at Wrigley. Love this play. Also love a guy from Livingston, New Jersey, as someone from Morristown in the neighboring town. We've got to go with our Jersey boys here.
I like
backing
it.
them
I like it. Good old Jersey boys.
Got to fist pump like champs out
Yep.
here.
Heinekens and
Let's go,
Jaeger bombs all day
Schwindel. Yeah, so, all right. Do we need to make a bet for the Coors Field versus Wrigley?
I'm down.
Which will
I'm
have
down.
more home runs? Which do you think will
Wrigley.
have more home runs? Okay,
Going
so you're going Wrigley.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll go Coors Field. You know,
All right.
why not?
I like it. I like it.
So let us know
could
what you
do it.
think in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe. Sign up for just to keep up with everything we're doing at LineStar. We got some cool videos coming out, so be sure to like and subscribe. Help us out. Leave a comment. Let us know what your plays are for today. That's going to do it for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Best of luck to you in daily fantasy and your prop bets.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.